Well,
Asha.
I will give you a little bit of introduction. As I was just mentioning a few moments before, I met Katinka a few weeks ago and I got enchanted by her personality and the way she sees things and the way she wants to help people. She's been doing business for more than 11 years and she really wants to help people restart their life and change everything. And she is looking at things from the side of neuroscience, which I believe is very complementary to what I do because I'm using the subconscious and hypnosis, which is not very tangible. I just get people into a state of sleep and then I say a bunch of stuff and then they wake up and their life is different. But there is no real understanding of what's happening. It's very sensitive, or it's really about the feelings and how we feel about things. There is a science behind the fact that the words we use affect the way we feel. But here, what we're going to do is we have a workshop where we're looking at what's happening within the brain and how we can hack the brain in tangible ways to really get us to desire to making more money. So now I
Yes.
will leave you the space for you to speak and to give us all the magic that you have within yourself.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, a few of you have been in workshops of mine already, and a few of you not. So I think we're 50-50 here with newbies and experienced people in my workshops. So I'll just explain a little bit of the structure. I have some sheets prepared just to make it easier sometimes to look things up or to understand. Like you say, Asha, wording is very important. So that's also where we're going to start. We're going to set an intention for this workshop to just have a certain goal or something you want to learn or something you want to discover for yourself. Can be a very big goal, can be a very small one. It doesn't really matter, but I'll guide you through that, how we do that. Then I'll share some neuroscience. And at the end, I have an exercise that I want to do with all of you to also put what we've learned to practice. Because for me, it's always very important to make sure that whatever I discuss here, I can send information all day long. But it's very important for me as well that when you leave, you have learned something and know what to do with it in your own life. So then you know a little bit what to expect in this hour. Let's see. Oh, this is the wrong. That's your beautiful community, Asha. But the wrong screen. This is the one we need. So let's start. Look, I made a sheet with both of our logos on it. So we're going to start, like I said, with setting an intention. And there's a certain format that I use with that. We start with a time frame, and this goes for the intention now, but this is also with any intention or any goal that you set in your life. This is very important that you use a format like this or this one. Start with a time frame. So for now, that will be in this workshop or in this hour. I will, I can, or I will know. Use specific wording like that, like it is a fact that you've something that you've gotten out of it. Stay away from words like I wish or it would be nice if or I would like to, because that is very vague and that gives your brain always an out to maybe do something, maybe not. But if you are very conscious with your wording and you use I will, then it's more of a fact. Your brain will perceive it as something that is already factually there, and then we'll start looking for the solutions or what it is that you want, the results that you want. And then make it measurable as well. And that can be by the end of this workshop, I will learn two things about neuroscience. I will have three new ideas of what to do with my business. I will have one insight on how to make more money, whatever it is, but make it measurable. And if we talk about things like more or less, you can say more, especially with money. That is a bit tricky because if you ask for more money or if your goal is to make more, realize that $1 more is more. So is that actually the result that you want? Or do you want to make 50 euros more? Or do you want to make 1,000 more? So really think about what is that measurement that you want to put in there. And I like percentages because sometimes if we talk about intentions like confidence, let's say you want to grow your confidence from 5% to 20%, that can make it very clear. That is just a gut feeling, and know that your gut is the best feeling. So go with your own flow, and if you use percentages like that. and just see what is the result that I want to have. Yeah, so this is where we will start with setting the intention for this hour and take a minute to write something down. If you have something, I want to ask you or invite all of you to unmute and share your intentions so that we have a bit of an idea of what you're working on, or you can put it in the chat and then we can read it out and also to see what results are we looking for, and then I will try my best to support you in getting there. Tarek, you unmuted. Is there something you want to share already? You've
Okay.
done this before, so I know you're quick.
Yes, I can share something about success. Uh, Maybe you can say I will work hard to achieve my goals.
hmm
Okay.
Uh, in achieving your goals, is there something in this workshop specifically that you want to learn to get you maybe a step closer? Or
Yes, I will in this workshop I would like to know something about how to improve my baking project to get more money about.
okay, and how many things do you want to learn, or do you want to have new steps you can take or new ideas? What is it exactly?
What I'm putting for myself, I can learn new skills to improve myself regarding this issue. يعني.
Okay, new skills to make money. Do you have an idea how many? And you can do an at least, something I didn't say yet, but sometimes if people are like, ah, maybe four, maybe five, no, you can say, I want to learn at least three new things,
Yes,
which
three
means three good.
three new
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah. So
Three
if
new.
you do it, if you phrase it like that, then your brain will at least find three, but it could also be five, it can also be 10.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Exciting. Three new skills to make more money. That's a good goal.
I
Asha.
can go for it. So by the end of this workshop, I will change my relationship I have with money so I can get clients in a more stable way because my clients are coming sometimes all at once and then I have a period without and I really want to spread them out. Like this, I can onboard
Mm-hmm.
them easier. And I want to have four new clients per month and really feel the stability that it brings within my life.
Okay. Okay, stability. And you said change your relationship. Is that, I'm just gonna check, is that clear enough for you? Like, will you know when you had this change?
I think there's gonna be a moment where I'm gonna have a shift. The shift is really to stop having these highs and lows, and that which creates moments where I'm putting a lot of energy and I'm stressing myself, and I really want to be
Yeah.
more of a like steady.
Okay, cool. So change your relationship by having one shift that will create more stability. Awesome. Thank you. All right, who else wants to share? And just, yeah,
Put
Austin.
mine in the chat.
Oh, yeah, put yours in the chat. Ah, see, where is the chat? Ah, there we go. Yes. Zoom did tell me, but it's always very vague. Let's see. Retrain my mind to enjoy earning money and to understand Katinka's model of teaching and creation. All right. Beautiful goal. I have nothing to say about that. I like that goal, and I will try my best to make you understand my model of teaching. Be sure to ask any question you have along the way, right? Sometimes I go on a bit of I send a lot of information during the workshops, but no, any of you can always interrupt me with a question, and that's always okay. Who else wants to share?
I'll go. I want to um, learn to stay focused on important tasks that
Mm-hmm.
would move me in the direction of my goal of creating and finishing the classroom in my community.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. And do you have an idea? Is there like an insight you want to have, or is it practical things you want to learn on how to stay focused?
Um, Well, my challenge has been that I would be I would sit down with an intention to do something else, and something will distract me immediately, and even before I get started, I'm off on a different path.
Yeah.
For
Uh,
example, I would pick up a phone because I wanted to get a specific thing, either to go to a specific app or something, and then I'll see a notification about something else, and I'll click on that.
Yes, yes. This happens a lot to our brains these days.
Yeah,
Just check for yourself because it's a good goal on itself already. To see if there is something a bit more specific on how you want to learn that. So I think the goal's clear. Learn how to stay focused. You can also see I want to have 3 new steps or 2 new tools, or just see if there's a bit more of a direction on the how. If there's not, you can leave it open. Just
yeah. I want to be able to uh, let's put it this way. I want to use what I learned today to complete 3 classroom projects
okay. Awesome. Yeah.
within
Cool.
within next 7 days.
Ooh, okay, exciting. Cannot wait to see those classroom projects open up then. I will keep an eye on you. Dana.
Yes, so by the end of this training, I'd like to recognize any subconscious beliefs or learned patterns that are influencing how I ask and receive financial contributions, as well as learning at least 2 regulation tools to reduce any stress response associated with financial risk, uncertainty, or growth.
Okay, nice. Okay, beautiful. Raise your hand for you, yeah. I think that's clear. Perfect. I have no questions about that. It's exciting. Thank you for sharing. Michael, you unmuted already before.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think I need some help on this because what I wrote down at the very start was I will come away with at least 3 sure ways of achieving my overall goal of a minimum of 250,000 within the next 4 weeks. So I have a
Mm-hmm.
90-day plan that I'm working through, and I'm working through that with Asha at the moment. Um, and what we're focusing on right now is to achieve what I want to achieve, I'm changing my market, changing my focus on who
Mm-hmm.
I speak to and who I have conversations with. And it's to identify who is within my network right now
Yeah.
that can take me there. So I think today we were talking about the subconscious. You know, everything I need is within me already. So it's
Yes.
to listen to my subconscious and be able to, I suppose, react without thinking
Yeah.
too much about it. So that was the original way I wrote it down. Um, I since pulled it back to one sure way, at least one sure way.
I mean, yeah, because you started with 3 ways of achieving that goal in the
Yeah,
time period after this, and then you already mentioned now I think 2, maybe even 3 ways. So I'm just wondering if it's the ways or if you are looking for actually practical steps to take, or maybe practical tools to
I
use to get there.
I feel I'm looking to step into it even deeper than just ways. It's more
Yeah.
the person that I want to speak to rather than
Okay.
what way, what avenues do I take. It's who is the person that I need to be reaching out to that I haven't thought of yet.
0 to
And it's
100%. How clear is that picture of this person now for you?
I can't see the person. I can't see the person. I'm this is the person that's there that I haven't identified. So, and the other thing I just drop into the conversation, I'm always interested in this is when somebody says, "How can you see something in your mind's eye?" I can't see in
Mhm.
my mind's eye. I have
Mhm.
complete darkness in it. So I think the way I do it is I think it rather than I see it. This
Yeah.
it.
So for to paint this picture, 0 to 100%,
Mm.
would you say then is it 0? Is it 5%? Is it
It's
20%? What?
probably it's probably zero as
Okay.
to
And
who that
where
person
do you want
is.
to be at the end of this session?
That's obvious, 100%.
Okay. Well, then
Uh,
let's set that
no,
as a goal.
I don't mean that flippantly.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't know where do you go in the middle of that, and uh, probably the reason I'm saying 100% is if that if that's within me already, it's about focusing and channeling my energies to bring
Yeah.
that out and create the knowing that's there. So
And I mean, I think it's a really good goal because 0 to 100% might sound hectic, but I've seen crazier shit happening in workshops. So if you feel like that picture is there, I just need to get it out of me, then that is something you can do. So, and then I would just say, write it down, have that clear picture of the person I need to start targeting from 0 to at the by the end of the session, 100%.
how would I write it, Katinka?
So, time frame by the end of this session,
Okay,
and then see what works. Is it I will know the person I will be targeting, or is it I will have a clear picture, or I will be able to describe the person that I'm talking? Just see what feels right for you.
okay,
And then the measurement is 100%.
thank you.
Yeah, okay, cool. Taras, anything you want to share or any intention you've written down? I don't know if you're still here. Otherwise, circle back to us. I will move on to for now. Um, and Taras, if you want to say anything or type it out in the chat anytime. All right, I think awesome intentions, awesome goals that you all set. Now, before we move on to achieving them, one more thing we do. First, we do an IMT check. Look at your goal and see if it is inspiring, is it motivating, and is it true to yourself? This is very important. Of course, your goals and your intentions need to be inspiring because it's something you need to want to achieve, it needs to be motivating, you need to want to work on it. Um, I think even most important is it needs to be true to yourself. So, is this really your intention? Is it something that you want to work on? Is it something that you want to achieve for yourself in your life? Check that it's not something that society maybe told you that you needed to, or your friends in that conversation the other day mentioned that, or maybe it's that voice in the back of your mind that might be a parent or a teacher that is telling you that this is something you need to do. So it really needs to be your goal. This is also, like I said, the gut feeling. Look at it, inspiring, motivating, true to yourself. If so, check. And then the 20% stretch is that little bit out of the comfort zone. It's that I call it the night before Christmas kind of excitement, where it is a little bit scary, but you cannot wait for it to happen. Then you're in the perfect spot. It will mean that if you achieve the goal or if you get that intention completed, that you will have grown as well. Goals within our comfort zone are fun because we can just set them and then check them off the list, but it doesn't really, you know, improve your life or it doesn't really make you or your business grow. So we are looking for that 20% stretch. Show hands, or if you have any questions, feel free to do so. But if this is check, then let me know. All right, I see a check. I see another check. Good. Yeah, sorry as well. Austin, is that good? IMT and 20% stretch.
I'm kind of on the
What?
fence. That's why I'm like,
All right, tell me.
I mean, I like those. Those are cool intentions. I feel like after hearing everybody else's, I feel like I could give a little more.
All right. So what more do you want it to give?
Hmm.
And this is very much check the truth to yourself, right? It needs to be your goal. And it needs to be something that feels right for you, no matter what anybody else says. It's not really important.
If we can make earning money fun, then we could make outreach fun, right?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Perfect. Let's add that to your goal. Outreach is fun. Exciting. All right. Well, let's get to it then. Your mind as an iceberg. I'm just going to assume that everybody has seen an iceberg in their lives. And yes, I also like to use this iceberg to describe the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So this is what I mainly work with in my consciousness coaching. I'm a neuroscience-based consciousness coach. So now we're going to start at that consciousness coaching part. And that means that as a whole, we consist of two things. We have our conscious mind, that is, I call it 10%. It's probably way less, but that is everything that we are aware of happening. Everything that you are consciously doing. And then there is this whole big bottom of the iceberg, which is your subconscious mind. And there's a few things that live in your subconscious mind. It's your thoughts, it's opinions, it's values, and it is habits. And with habits, I mean predictive processing. So that driving a car is a good example for that. When you start driving, you need to think about every movement. Where do I have to look? What do I have to do? In which order? At some point, sometimes you get home and you didn't even realize the last two streets before you arrived, because that is how much of a habit it becomes. These programs, as soon as we get used to them, when our brain is trained to do these things, it puts it down, it downloads it to our subconscious mind, and it just lets the programs run. And the reason for this is to save energy. If we have to always continuously think about everything we do consciously, that would be too much, and we would still be living in a cave, probably. So that's why we have that subconscious mind, and it serves us very well. Same goes for thoughts, opinions. When we learn things, they just get downloaded there, and these programs come up whenever we need them. So also for decision making and stuff like that. You don't have to every time consciously think about what your opinion is about a certain thing. Your subconscious mind will just know what it is, it comes up and throws it in a conversation or in your decision making, your goal setting, stuff like that. Now, the only downside of that is that anything that you are not aware of, you cannot change. So this goes for these thoughts, opinions, and values as well. As long as you keep them in the subconscious mind, these programs will just run. And this can, for instance, if we talk about the topic today, also be your opinions about making money or your thoughts about growing your business, the values that you put behind outreach, Austin. I think that's a very good example. When we have resistance or when we are not sure where to go, that is usually because one of these programs is maybe not serving you or not serving you in this situation, or stopping you from going in a direction that maybe does not match with your values. And then you will notice, "Ah, for some reason, things are not moving forward, or I'm not making this money, or I'm not getting these clients. Why is that?" And that's what I wanted to look into today as well. So think about, is there anything there in your subconscious mind? If you look at your intention, is there maybe a thought that you can see might have been blocking you, or maybe some resistance have been coming up in the process until now? Could be a thought that might be blocking you, could be an opinion that you have, could be a core value, or it could just be a habit. If you are, like I said, in my background, I grew up not around a lot of money, so that also becomes a habit. Being poor becomes a habit as well, and there's certain behaviors that are a part of that. So when life changes and you start moving into different circles, so that was my experience, I didn't know what to do because that was not normal for me. Spending money is not normal for me. So I really had to learn how to do that, because the habit was always not do that and find the cheapest way and preferably let somebody else pay for it. That's kind of how I used to do things. And I had to become aware of that for me to understand what is happening here. Why is this blocking me? and to change this. Okay, thoughts or questions or anything that comes up? No? Oh. All right.
Uh,
Who made a
I
noise?
have
I
a
heard.
question, Katinka.
Yes, Tarek. Yes.
What about the conscious, 10% conscious? Any example for this?
Your conscious mind, so that is just everything that you are aware of. So if you are thinking, if you hear your thoughts, then it's in your conscious mind. If you are making a decision and you're contemplating, right? You're talking to yourself. I will show you. We're going to the neuroscience after this. So that is everything that is up here. It's kind of physically where it is, and that is your conscious mind. Everything that you are aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, Jay entered our waiting room. Hello, Jay. Welcome. We've just discussed this, so thanks for jumping in. I'm gonna go on and just see if you can catch up and ask me any questions that you have if you want to. Yeah, one more check. Was that clear? Are there any more questions? Or if you guys want to share anything, feel free to do so. If something comes up that you want to share, there's enough space for that. Okay, let's move to the neuroscience, because that brain, so that is mainly our conscious mind, it has a negativity bias. And what this means is our brain is always looking for problems and always looking for danger. That is just the way that it was programmed. It is there to keep us safe, which means to keep us safe, we have to be aware of danger. So your brain is constantly looking for problems, basically. Always looking for the negative things, for this is not good enough. This is maybe you have to stay away from this because it's unknown. And there's a few parts of our brain that are involved in that. First one, the amygdala in the back of your brain. And this is triggered by emotions. So this can be when you're in a situation, well, like we said, talking about money might be uncomfortable because of a relationship you have with money, because of an experience. If you have a negative experience with a very wealthy person, then that can mean that the next time you talk to a wealthy person or you talk about money, that amygdala will be triggered and will tell you, oh, hold up, danger. Last time we had a conversation with a person like this, it was not a good experience. Maybe we need to move away. It can, start panicking, and then sends a message of stop, don't do this, don't go on, this is not safe. Your default mode network, it's a few parts of your brain actually. And what happens here is rumination. It's the overthinkers will know this part. It is literally the part of your brain that keeps you awake at night when you are thinking about what am I doing? This thought came up today. It's really when that subconscious mind starts working and starts pulling up these things that you can overthink on. So that can be these values or that can be these opinions or whatever it is. Sometimes it digs very deep and it can go very way, way, way back in your past, but it's constantly contemplating like, is this something that matches with me? Is this something that matches with my ego, your identities, all these things that it's considering. And then the last part is your prefrontal cortex here in the front of your brain, that regulates and reframes. Your prefrontal cortex is the analytical part of your brain. So when you have to make a decision, this is kind of like objectively, okay, is this good or not? Or with the negativity bias, is this safe or not? And if it's familiar, usually the conclusion is safe. If it's unfamiliar, if it's new, conclusion of your brain is usually not safe. Let's not do this. Tarek, you have a question.
Yes, please. You said a moment ago that the brain looking for problems and dangerous things. Can we put challenges as a negative bias or is positive?
The challenges are not positive or negative. That is just a challenge. But your brain will always automatically be looking for the problem. So if,
Okay.
for instance, with your baking book thing we were talking about earlier, you have an option of something, and then your brain will always look at, oh, but maybe this costs too much money, but there's no certainty that it will give me clients. But I don't know if this investment, if I will make it back. Or I set a goal for 10K a month, but maybe that's too much for me right now. Maybe it should be 5K, or maybe I've never made that much money. Maybe it should be 3K, right? So your brain will always looking for the problems and try to narrow it down to the familiar. And the familiar is just your comfort zone. That's everything you already know, because your brain knows where we are now. We didn't die, so let's stay here, basically. Doesn't really want you to grow, actually. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts? Asha, I'm very curious what you think about this as well.
I think it's very good, to understand where the parts of the brain that are activating things, and especially to understand that we're connecting emotions to events. And when we understand there's a part of the brain that is related to that memory of emotions, we can start understanding why we react in one way or another way.
Yeah.
And the rumination is usually connected to that. It's like, oh, we have this old habit and we start ruminating because somewhere there is a memory of an event that we're not conscious of. And we start thinking negatively, we even sometimes behaving negatively without even like knowing why. But when we are getting conscious of that, when we stop and we say, hey, why am I thinking negatively of that? That's the moment where we can start regulating and reframing it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, and this is also something that you can train your brain to do. So our brains are naturally, they have that negativity bias. This process, this is just how it works always. If you want to do something new, or if things are changing. For some people, it stays more in that amygdala. If you are more emotionally oriented, then it will stay there. For some people, it's more that prefrontal cortex, and you can think yourself to death analyzing everything and still not taking a step. So that works a bit different for everybody, but this is the basic process. And know that you can always reprogram your brain. So that's also something I wanted to look into today. We're going to do an exercise to see, can we change this, get things from that subconscious mind up into your conscious mind, and then be aware of this process and see how can I undercut that brain maybe, or how can I train my brain to make a decision, break through that ruminating. Overthinkers, you can almost feel it sometimes, that brain working and working and working. So this is something that you can train and can change if you know how to, of course. So let's look into that if it is time to change. Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's fun learning how to drive our brain. And the way that you're describing this here is like we look out of our eyes, right? And we see everything around us, around our
Mhm.
body, and we're just like, oh yeah, this is the world, right? And but when you start to understand what's going on in here, and you can take a step back even further, it's like basically what you're describing is like, okay, if I understand the systems that are working up here and I can learn how to operate them, right? Like I can change things going on around me. And so I can like literally sit in my mind and be like, okay, well, I want to create this reality outside of me. What do I need to do inside of this thing in order to work it, Like how do I make what's inside reflect what I want outside? And
Exactly.
and when you can really see that's where the remote control is, things start to take effect. And yeah, this is cool. And I'm loving the way that you're explaining it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's exactly it. I think you got it. Yeah, so let's see if we can have you on the steering wheel of your brain. So what we're going to do is called a 3C exercise. Cognitive reframing. That's the official difficult word for it. It's three simple steps, so no worries. It's not as difficult as it sounds. We're going to change either your thought or an emotion that you have. For a lot of people, it's thought, but if it's an emotion, know that it also works for that. Or change your relationship to the thought. And how we're going to do that? 3 steps. First one, catch it. So that is bring it up, see what is there, become aware of the thought, bring it up to your conscious mind. Second step is check it. So what is this thought and is this true? So for me, it was I am poor. Back in the day, that is a thought that stopped me from making money, for making more than just to come by, because I couldn't, because I was poor. That was a thought. That was just my truth, right? And my opinion about myself. So I had to catch that, become aware of it, then check it. Is that true? I mean, at that time, it wasn't true, because if I have a roof over my head and if I can buy enough food to survive, then I'm not poor anymore, right? Doesn't make me rich, but definitely not poor. So then that was a no, and sometimes it's a yes, and then you can see, what do I need to change? And that's the third step, change it. And it is either change the thought itself. So I could reframe it into I am wealthy, or I live in abundance, or I am learning how to become rich, whatever it is. Or change the relationship to the thought. So for me, it was really about that self-worth, where I had to understand this thought of I am poor, I am poor, I am poor, was actually telling me that I did not feel worthy of making money yet. So that was something that it showed me. You need to start working on your self-confidence and your sense of self-worth to be able to start actually making proper money. Then there's a whole process out of that, but at least now that brought me to a point where I could start making these changes and could start learning new things again that would serve me in growing myself, growing my business. Yeah, so this is what I want to do. Have a look at your intention as well. It's very good to make sure that it will serve that, or just see what comes up. Sometimes like 10 things can come up already. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult. If it's very deep buried in your subconscious mind, it can take a moment for you to dig it out, and see. I mean, I always say start with 3, but just see what works. Catch a thought, check the thought, and then change the thought, and share if you have something. I'm going to give all of you a minute to see how this works. If you have a question, shoot, ask me. Or if you say, I have something, please do the process with me. Also, let me know, and we'll go through the process together. Is there anybody who wants to share?
Yeah, I can.
All right. Yeah.
So the first thing that came to me is that I need problems to get attention, which is not
Yeah.
true, because I'm receiving attention without having problems. And actually, I love attention in general. I need to wait for the deadlines before acting. which
Okay.
is not
Yes.
especially is not especially true, but usually deadline makes me act more. And the last one, which is one I'm working with my coach, is money messes up the way women relates to me.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. Some intense thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one do you want to look
I,
at?
I will go for the last one because I feel this is the one that is the deepest and the most painful.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you repeat it one more time, the thought?
Money messes up the way women relate to me.
Okay. And if we check that, is it true?
Um, yes and no. So in general, no, but in my intimate relationship, yes, because I'm usually attracting gold diggers, and sometimes yes and sometimes no. But I think there's a part of my brain that is searching for signs, and when there is signs, I just get triggered probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-fulfilling prophecies can be a big part of that.
Yeah,
Okay, so sometimes yes, sometimes no. I mean that might be a case-to-case basis because woman A, woman B, woman three might be different
yeah,
ones. So
yeah.
could be. Then the question is, do you want to change the thought or do you want to change your relationship to the thought?
I want to change the thoughts.
Okay. And what thought will serve you?
Women appreciate me the way I am, regardless of my income.
Okay. How does that feel?
It doesn't feel real, but I want it. Like I feel there's
Okay.
a part of me that is like, yes, that would be amazing, and there's a part of me that's like, ooh, are you sure we can trust that?
hmm And there's something there, right? You can still feel it. It's nice.
Yeah, I feel a part
Nice
of
thought.
me, a part of me is like I need to be on guard.
Yeah. Yeah. So then maybe it is changing the relationship to the thought because there might be a layer underneath
Yeah, okay.
where there is something there that this thought is telling you something about
Wait,
yourself, about your.
it's saying that I need to prove my worth.
Yeah. Okay. So when that thought comes up, what do you then want to think as a follow-up? Because this thought will keep coming up, and you can change it as in you can write down a different one. But I think we've already felt that that will just be an infinite loop
Yeah,
of of A coming up and you saying B, and then tomorrow A coming up and
yeah,
you saying B. So there's something underneath there, and this might be it, but this is usually it can be a bit of a bigger process. But this thought is telling you something, and it is about worth. It is about wealth, definitely
yeah.
self-worth.
Yeah, it's about accepting my self-worth the way it is, and not searching for external validation.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, and then see what steps you can take now to work on that process. Because this thought, every time this thought will come up, you will know, okay, there's a lesson for me to learn, there's a conversation for me to have. There is something around the topic of my self-worth or that validation that I need to be aware of. It can be like a red flag, there's a gold digger in front of you, could be.
Yeah,
Could also be, okay, pay a bit more attention on how am I perceiving myself in this situation or the other person. Um, yeah. How does that feel?
well, I'm kind of feeling like this. Yeah, I feel resistance.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. A big process underneath this.
Yeah, I think there's a
Yeah.
bigger process. I feel I'd better right now give the space for someone else
Mhm.
because I feel like I might take too much space here.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good. So just sit with that for a bit and then see, because there's going to be probably like 10 things intertwined with this thought.
Yeah,
But then you know that when this thought comes up, that it's telling me something, and
yeah,
it's not there's a gold digger, but there's a deeper process.
yeah.
Is that complete for you for now?
For now, I'm complete. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Asha, for sharing. Dana.
Yes. So my first thought that I put in the catch it section was people do not believe that I have something valuable to offer.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the check it was people may need to know more about my service offering. And the change it for me was I can share more details about my personal transformation as a direct testimony of the techniques that I now teach.
Yeah, good. It's nice stuff. So the check it is always, is it true or is it not true? And then I think you did it very quickly, the process. And now the conclusion is, I need to do something. I need to. So you change your relationship to the thought, right? Am I following that correctly?
Yes, I would say that there's maybe still a little bit of hesitation there around. I did change the relationship to the thought, absolutely, the original thought. And I do think this is a good reframe for me. I also acknowledging that this may also have some underlying worth issues as well that I still need to process through.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also what this exercise works that quickly. You can change it and like solve the one, and then your subconscious mind will have a next one in line. So you'll see that this comes up as well. We can have the same thought twice, but it mean different things. So it could be, and I think that's what you're experiencing now. Like you went through the process and it felt right, but then the thought comes up again. So it's still there, but it might be a different one that needs a different steps.
Yes, and I will acknowledge too, I've been doing this, but in a micro way, right?
Yeah.
Not giving like the full rundown of my personal transformation. And I've been doing it in little bits and bites, and I can actually see the reflection back to me, showing up different, right? So I can see people
Yeah.
relating, right, connecting, understanding that I'm not just here pushing another solution that I read out of a textbook, so
Yeah,
to speak.
exactly. Yeah. Okay,
Wonderful.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Is that
Yeah, thank you.
complete for you now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay. Perfect. Michael.
Yeah, my three, the first one is I sabotage myself when it comes to money to keep me safe.
Mhm.
The second is I can't earn more money than I'm used to. So that's more about status, what I've earned in the past. And I found myself in the past validating that against other people.
Okay.
Um, and the third one is I want to make a lot of money so I can be recognized as being successful. And that's both an external one and an internal one. It's external in that I feel that people view me for what I've achieved financially.
Okay. Yeah.
And internally I'm driving that because I came from a family that were very successful in their own right. So
And is there an exact thought that you can pinpoint around that?
the last one,
Yeah.
what it used to be before, well, I've been aware of it for a while, is I want to make my dad proud. So
Okay. Yeah.
I become successful in my career and in my work. You know, I can make him proud. And the analogy, the sort of the metaphor for that was, you know, I want to create a bigger shadow so I can outshadow I can outshine my dad
Mhm.
by creating a bigger shadow. He casts such a shadow on the world. And as I worked on that, it became more, well, the realization became, well, all I have to do is move to one side and I can create my own shadow. I don't have to create this massive shadow. But I think that still lingers a lot. Money is very important to me, so I can prove to myself at least that I am successful,
Yeah. So there's a
that I've
very
delivered what I've.
direct connection between money, success, and then in between that is your self-worth. right? How proud is
Yeah,
my dad of me? How proud can I be of myself? How big of a man am I? These are all things I'm hearing around that, right?
yeah. It's really deep. It's multifaceted.
Yeah,
Um, but I've done a good bit of work on it. And I think that one has moved a good bit
yeah,
in my mind. Whether it has it been a late or not, I don't know. And the same with the I sabotage myself one is an interesting one as well, because what I found is that for years I played average,
yeah.
and if I ever when I thought it was only a case of, okay, well, let's go a level higher than that. Let's
Mm.
do exceptional. And when I went there, something kept sabotaging, kept holding me back. I wouldn't take a step, or I wouldn't do something that would achieve the result.
Yeah, and for
And
that,
it became a,
if we talk, sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I want to just
you
grasp one more thing. Um, the sabotaging, because you are framing a lot of them as goals, or if you already have a lot of insights. So moving forward now, I just invite you when you feel that again, because you are going through this process, or for parts you have been already. So when you feel yourself sabotaging something again, um, I invite you to really try and catch that the thought that is doing the sabotaging. Because I am sabotaging myself is like a conclusion. You are already aware of the process happening. But with this exercise, we're really looking for that root. So what is that? And it could be also be an emotion. Like I said, for some people, it's that amygdala. So then it might be an emotion, a feeling of worthiness or a feeling of. For a lot of people, it's a thought. It's a thought of not being good enough, not being worthy enough. If you can catch that, then you can check it, change it, and then kind of solve the sabotaging. Well, that's very big. It's not that easy or quick, but I think then you
no,
can
but
really break through that sabotage.
yeah, and if I can check into that, because uh, sometimes it's as subtle as there's something to be done, and instead of doing it, I'll pull back and I say, I shall do that tomorrow, or I'll and it's
Yeah,
the moment has passed then before you realize, and or sometimes it could be I just can't see the next step until it's too
yeah,
late. It's very subtle. So catching the thought is that's something I need to watch for. What is the thought that's going on there? And
yeah.
there's a second thing that comes up for me as well when you say that is there's a second thought then. So there's the thought that comes up to create the sabotage,
Hmm.
but there's also the thought after that. How do I relate to that? How do I berate myself, or how do I, give myself a hard time over what just happened? Or how do I let myself
Yeah,
off?
you did this again. So what you see sometimes is that like I said, there's different thoughts that come up, and if you have changed one, then there will be another one waiting in line for you because this is an ongoing process. What can also happen, sometimes you start ping-ponging between catching it and checking it, and that is that rumination, right? That we were talking about, that
Oh yeah,
process of
yeah.
your brain where it's like there's a feeling and there's a thought, then you check it, you have a feeling about what you checked, so you end up at catching it again.
Oh,
So that is when you say like, oh, it's this thought and that feeling and this thought and that feeling, then you're just ping-ponging between step one and two. And that's really where you need to become aware, like, okay, I'm going to stick with one thought, check that, change it. Then the emotion, check it, change it. Then the next thought, check it, change it. And that's really practice because now, I
yeah.
taught you all of this now in 45 minutes, but this is really something that needs training as well, that you need to just practice with, give yourself the time. Conversation. So maybe if you're working with Asha already, I bet this is something that you guys can work on as well. Because this takes a lot of work. It's a lot of practicing because it's really a skill to reprogram your brain, I would say.
Yes. Yes.
Is that
Thank
complete
you.
for now?
It is, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Tarek, I'm gonna let you do this process, and then for Jay to Ross, I think has Austin already left us because we are moving over the hour. So let me know in the chat if there's still anything that any of you wants to talk about or needs to share. And Tarek, I'm gonna give you your moment.
Okay.
What thought came up?
First, catch it. If I send a message to one of my friends and he didn't reply,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
he must be upset with me.
Yeah.
Check it. Do I know is that true? Maybe he's so busy. Okay.
Yeah.
Change it. I will wait to ask him later instead of assuming the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the action step, right?
Mhm.
If you don't know. Yeah, it's good. And if we take it back to the intention you had, right? New skills to make more money. This is also something that can get in the way. Now you're talking about a friend, but it's the same thing we have in business, right? When you are making a networking call, or you have like a discovery call, or you want to take on a new client, or if there's a new assignment, new opportunity, this can happen as well. So it might be the same thing coming up with the things that you're working on for your business, or if you want to make more money, get these new opportunities. This can be a pattern, or I feel that a bit, right? This is something that comes up more often. Yeah, it's good. It's good steps. Anything else that came up
No.
for you? No? Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna quickly check. Let's see, Taras or Jay, is there anything you guys want to share before we round up the workshop? No? All right. And Jay, otherwise let me know. Yeah, that was it. You're okay? Okay, perfect. Oh, this was my last cheat, but okay, I'm gonna do this quickly and then we'll end with a round of gratitude to wrap up the workshop. It's something I wanted to share. Of course, there's more things coming up, Perspective Flip and the Meet Greet Complete event. And this is still something that we are a bit quiet about, but Asha will also give a guest expert session in my community, so the Reinvention Project community. End of the month. What it will be about, we will tell you later, but I'm super excited for that to happen. And let's see, any questions? Anything? I'm going to bring it back here out of the sheets. Anything any of you want to share, ask, need to throw in the group here before we wrap up the workshop?
Actually, I would like to thank you about the exercise. It really helped me to think differently, and it's really helping about the subject.
Yeah, good. Good. I'm excited to see where it will take you in your process. Dana, I see
Thank
you
you,
unmuted.
Katina. Yes, thank you for this. This was definitely a great practice to bring some of those thoughts forward, those subconscious thoughts, and reframe them. Um, I would just ask, I'm familiar, obviously, like with the repetition, but I know you had addressed throughout this workshop when people started to kind of shift back into the former way of thinking, if there's anything besides the repetition that can help us to stay, focused on the new framed thought that you would add.
There's different things you can do, so it's different for everybody also what works. First thing that's always important to see how do you internalize information. So writing down is
Mhm.
something that helps very well because it's a physical action. You have to think, you have to become conscious of what you are writing down. So that's why all therapists are always like, write down your thoughts. So with this, that
Mhm.
also helps. Write it down, stick it somewhere where you see it every day, or have that feeling, and then see what is your practice. If it's meditation, take it with you in your meditation. If you go on a completion walk, take the thought with you to practice it. Also, visualization works very well, and that doesn't have to be long, but if you sit, close your eyes, sit and think about the thought and visualize yourself being that for at least 30 seconds, but it doesn't have to be a lot longer, then your brain is actually practicing becoming that new thought. So if we talk about self-worth, right, and it is, I am worthy of, well, making a lot of money. That's what we were talking about today. visualize that. What does that look like? Who are you when you have that confidence, when you have that wealth or that abundance? And then you will be training your brain to start looking for those opportunities, looking for that wealth, looking for that version of yourself instead of that negativity bias that wants to keep you away from the process. So yeah, there's a lot of different things. And also this is an exercise, I've been doing it for years and I still do this exercise myself because it works very well. And new things come up always because we grow, we change, we evolve, and with that, new thoughts will come up, new emotions and new phases of life. So yeah, just circle back to this exercise as well. When you feel I'm in that resistance or I'm struggling with something, sit down and do it again and see what comes up.
Thank you for those suggestions. Yes, something that I've done in the past is actually write just a small affirmation of the reframed
Yeah,
thought on a sticky note and put it on my bathroom mirror. And that's been a great way of,
yeah,
subconsciously reprogramming too, because you're constantly reading it there, right?
yeah.
So thank you for those suggestions. I
The
appreciate it.
mirror, in the shower, on the toilet. Those are the three best spots in the house to have this because you're always there. You have a moment for yourself, right? That's why where you start having these conversations. It is that default mode network again that does the ruminating, comes up when you are having those minutes on the toilet because there's nothing there to do if you leave your phone. And so your brain starts processing. That's actually what's happening. And then these things come up, these thoughts come up. So it's also very good places to catch a thought that might be having you in, keeping you in resistance. So yeah, thank you. Anything else? Anybody want to share? No, complete for now. All right. Then we're gonna. Oh, Michael, yes.
Just to share the the intention at the start, a name came
Mhm.
up for me, so I'm going to check that
Perfect.
out.
Yes, there you go. I love that. Okay, exciting. Yeah, that's what I was wanted to do with the gratitude. So you can start, Michael, see if you have another one. I always wrap up the workshops with a round of gratitude to say anything you're thankful for. It can have something to do with this workshop. It can also be something completely different. And have a look at your intention. See, did you make it? Is there anything you want to share about that? Yeah, just anything that you need to be complete. So, Michael, you had to go already, but I'm gonna hand it to you first to do your round of gratitude, and then I'll go for my screen. I'll read up the names.
Um, well, I'm grateful for this hour and 15 minutes. I'm grateful to myself for jumping on, even though I was late. So, uh, yeah, that name came up, which is very interesting. It's a new name in my it's a name that I came across that's not in my network yet. So I'm going to explore that from a point of view of meeting them next week. I'll be in London next week, so that's another. Ash will be more aware of what I'm talking about. Um, there was something. Yes, I'm also grateful for you bringing back up this whole idea of intentionality. I'm a real proponent of that. I when I'm working with my own clients, I one of the biggest areas is commitment. And when you're committed to something, you're more likely to achieve it. But the challenge is what's commitment to you? And this whole idea of intentionality is the same idea. When you have a real intention to go after something, it's a bit like mama bear effect. You know, the mother when her child is in danger, she will go through brick walls. You know that whole idea. Thank you for bringing it back to front and center. It's very very powerful. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Asha.
Well, I'm extremely grateful for all the people who have shown up here because this is one of the reasons I want to create this workshop is to transmit this kind of information and have people working together because when we are doing the things by ourselves, it's already very good. But when we see that we're not alone, it gives us more motivation to do it. Like making the path and knowing that there's other people to whom we can get support is what makes the path easier. So I really want to thank everyone who has come today to do the work and to participate because everybody has shared the intention And I feel this is amazing because often we make a workshop and a lot of people are just like black screen and they're not talking, they're not participating. And here everybody was really active. And I think that's amazing because the more people are active, the more things are changing. And yeah, I feel like it's an amazing workshop. And I'm super grateful also for Katinka to giving her time to sharing what she knows and making things happen here.
Thank you. Tarek.
Yes, I'm glad for being here with you and enjoying the workshop. It was nice, really, and I really enjoyed, and it was helpful. Actually, I'm glad for to meeting new people. I know they were all nice and helpful people. I get new ideas from them as well, and the new opinions. I'm glad for all this, and thanks, Asha, for your community and the hospitality here. And hope you can meet again next workshop with helpful opinions and thoughts. Thank you, Katinka.
28th, he'll be there for a guest expert session in my community. Thank you, Tarek. Taras.
So I want to tell you at least thank you, and for me, I go away for short time, but yeah, I listened what all you said. So thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Dana.
Yes, so this was a great workshop and very helpful, specifically on using this technique as it relates to money and finances. And the timeliness, frankly, for this popping up for me is spot on. So very grateful to be able to do this live with you. And thank you for the added contribution at the end there on how we can really continue to solidify that new framework and really hardwire that. So thank you. Those are some great suggestions. I'll definitely look at putting those into practice.
Yeah, perfect. I'm glad. The universe will do her work for us, eh?
That's right. Well, if we ask, we receive, I suppose, right? As long as we're open to it.
Definitely. Yeah, because I told you about this workshop 20 minutes before we started, so that is how quickly things can go. I want to thank all of you for being here, taking the time, putting your energy in, and being so open. Yeah, I love this topic. It's a very interesting topic. I see Jay also had to go. We've been a bit over time. I'm also gonna close off the workshop now and move. I have the replay, so I will send that to you or shoot me a DM, and then I will get it to you later tonight. Because I have somewhere else to be now, but then it is a Fathom note taker, so there will be a summary as well of the workshop, and I think it's always good to revisit it. If there's anything you need from me or want to ask afterwards, or when things calm down a bit and you have questions, know that you can always find me. I'd be happy to answer all of them. And yeah, give space to yourself, your process, and I'm excited to see where this will take all of you. So have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I hope to see all of you in the next one.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye
Everybody.
bye.